My friends, it's been forever. I've missed you. You probably didn't miss me, but it's okay. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about failure. I think that failure has this bad, weird vibe around it where people just, they don't even want to interact with failure, right? They think failure is like you're this bad influence, and like if you keep failing you're horrible, and I don't know, I feel like in my family it's kind of like failure has this like weird dynamic, and I feel like most people get real weary of the word failure, calling someone a failure or you failed. Like no one likes to feel that. No one likes to be called out on their failures and things of that sort. But I can say this is that failure is extremely important. It's actually probably one of the most important things that you can do in your life. You know, my Uncle Jerry, he was doing real estate, and I was fixing and flipping some houses, and my mom was, and we're all kind of like learning from each other and bouncing ideas off of each other. And I remember going to my Uncle Jerry, and I was like, man, I'm gonna probably cut even on this house. And I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it was like almost like overtime, you know, working almost like maybe 60 to 80 hours a week. And I remember he just laughed at me, and he's like, welcome to the school of hard knocks. And it's true, because in the school, you're being taught a lesson. You're learning things through failure. And I feel like when I finished that house, I learned so much. I learned what not to do. I learned what to do. I learned what to focus on. I learned what not to focus on. But other than what I learned strategy-wise on the projects and things like that, I also learned a lot about myself. I learned that what I was not good at. I was not horrible at accounting. Like I was horrible at like keeping the numbers, and like I wrote them down, but like it wasn't good like an accountant would, you know. But I was really good at taking initiative. I was really good at leading a team. I was really good at these other things. And so I learned a lot about myself through that transition of building this property or flipping this property, renovating this property. And so after that project, I was like, wow, failure is actually extremely important. And one thing I heard from Will Smith too, Will Smith said, he says, fail often, but fail forward. So it's like you have to keep failing, but when you fail, you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to adapt. So every time you're going down this path, right? You're going this path, you fail. Now you have to kind of keep going that path, but you got to adapt. You got to move around the fence and keep going, right? And so through adaptation, through flexibility, you learn, but you learn from your failure. And so failure is actually extremely important in life. I think people get scared. Like when you fail a test, you should know this is what I'm weak at. I'm not good at this. So now I need to go back to the books and I need to study this more because this is what I'm weak at. That's what tests are meant to do. Or maybe in relationships. You know, a lot of times relationships fail all the time. Let me tell you. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced it. Everybody on this planet has experienced a failed relationship. And if you haven't, then the relationship that you're in right now has probably failed a couple times throughout the way. It's just inevitable. I mean, there's no way escaping it, right? But I think through failure in relationships, it's like we always point the finger, right? Because we don't want to be the cause of the failure of a relationship. We always point the finger. Well, they did this. Well, they did this. And it's just like a circle of chaos. But instead of pointing the finger, why don't you look at yourself? And this is what I had to do, because I think a lot of times, well, kind of a general rule of thumb, is that the universe has something called cause and effect. For every cause, there is an effect. It's like for every action, there's a reaction. And so you have to wonder, okay, well, why is my girlfriend doing this? Or why is my boyfriend going out and needs attention from women? Or why is my girlfriend looking for a significant other, another, you know, to get their needs emotionally, whatever it may be. And you kind of, and it's not condoning, you're not like approving of what they do, like, yeah, go do that because you're not getting your needs met, but you're trying to control the things that you can control, and that's yourself. You can't control anything else but yourself. You can't control another person. And so what you have to say is like, okay, well, maybe I didn't meet her needs emotionally, or maybe maybe if I was a she, maybe I was never there for him, or I was always busy, whatever it may be. But you have to focus on the things that you control. But that's what failure brings out in people. Failure brings out self-awareness. Failure brings out like cognitive self-reflection. And that is actually extremely healthy. And so in this video, I just want you guys to understand that failure is okay. It is okay to fail. And actually, when you fail, it's actually good. As long as you're learning from a mistake. What was the definition of insanity was when you keep doing something over and over again and getting the same results. That's insanity, right? I think that was Albert Einstein. I could be wrong about that, but that's the definition that they came up with, was that when you keep doing something over and over and over and over again, but you get the same results, that's insanity, right? And that's true because you're failing, but you're not adapting, you're not changing, you're not reflecting and learning off your mistakes. You're just kind of just going randomly off into the same direction. And so failure is important, guys. It's a process of, it's part of life. It's part of everything. And I just want to take away the stigma that failure is like, oh, I'm a failure at life. And if someone points a finger at you and says, you failed, like, yeah, I failed, and this is what I learned, and this is why I'm going to exceed or excel the next time around. And failure happens all the time, guys. And so I just want to say that failing is a part of life. It's okay. You can fail. Don't worry about it. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Oh, by the way, pop this merch right now for all you veterans. It's called Morale Check. And what they do is they support suicide awareness for the military and for veterans. So if you guys are interested, I'll leave the link below. It's moralecheckapparel.com. All right, guys. I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.